Got some popcorn over here. So me and Callie are gonna be recording it together, aren't we? Oh, mama, that was cute. Hey guys, it's Jess, and it has been so long since I've sat down and done a pregnancy update. And honestly, just not much has been going on. I've been tired, I haven't been feeling up to it, but I figure that we're close to my due date, so like, I might as well get another one in when, in all honesty, it might be like the last one because I'm lazy. Today, I am 34 weeks pregnant, which is insane. Actually, I was 34 weeks pregnant yesterday, but we'll just say 34 weeks. It's insane to me. It's absolutely wild. I'm almost done. And everyone that's talking to me, and everyone that knows me has been saying they think I'm gonna go into labor in December, which I also believe. So we'll see what happens. An update since the last one. I believe the last one I was telling you guys how much pain I was in, and I am not in pain anymore. Literally, PT was a lifesaver. Like, bro, it saved my life so much. I feel so much better. I just feel so much better. It's been amazing. Some things I'm feeling are Braxton Hicks every single day. I get them more at night. Even when I drink water, I get them. I know you're supposed to lay down and turn and all that stuff, but I still get Braxton Hicks all the time. I don't know if I'm feeling anything else. Sometimes I feel crampy. Last night I felt really nauseous and sick, which I read online could mean you're going into labor soon, but that passed. I think that's like it. What I'm sitting here to tell you guys is a story of what happened. I don't think it was last week. I think it was 2 weeks ago or last Friday. I don't know. It might have been last Friday. I don't know. Last Friday, I woke up for work, and you guys know that I work full-time from home. So obviously I get up and I work from my computer and all of that. You're so cute. Never mind. I woke up Friday, normal day, I went to go let the dog outside, and then I felt really weird. And I didn't feel a gush, but I did feel different down there. And if this is TMI, if you're a guy, you don't need to watch this. So, hi girls, if you're pregnant, this is what happened. I'm gonna get real personal and in-depth on all this stuff, so if you're like not wanting to hear it, don't. It's really not that big of a deal, but whatever. I felt weird, and then I kind of just put my hand down in my pants, in my underwear, because I'm home. It doesn't matter. And there was something leaking, and it wasn't normal discharge, it was more watery discharge, and there was a lot of it. So I'm like, okay, crap. Like, everything I've heard online is that if your water breaks, it's clear, liquidy discharge, basically. I was like, okay, whatever, like, I'm gonna wait and see if it stops, if it's just like right now. But then it kept happening, and there kept being an increase in it, and there kept being more and more and more. And I'm like, it's not stopping, which is really bizarre, and my underwear is getting really wet, and I'm like, I don't know if my water broke, but if it did, I know for a fact you're supposed to get to the hospital, because then contractions start and all of that. I'm not having contractions, I'm having hella Braxton Hicks, which is normal to me, so it doesn't really alarm me in that sense. Then I ended up calling my OB, and I was like, hey, this is the situation. They ended up telling me, hey, it sounds like your water broke, but I'm not sure. Obviously, I can't tell you over the phone. So if I were you, I would head to the hospital right now and just get checked out, because obviously better safe than sorry. So I called my mom, and I was kind of just telling her, and she's like, yeah, you should probably head to the hospital. Like, God forbid. It is something. You don't want to be stuck in the house, whatever. So Mike at this point was in Wilmington playing hockey, and he didn't have his phone. I couldn't contact him at all. So I'm like, not really freaking out, but I kind of am, because like, if it really is true labor, what the hell? So I ended up texting my friend Laura, who was in class at the time, and ow, Callie. And I didn't even like ask her like, hey, can you like drive me to the hospital? I literally was just like, I don't know if my water broke, I think it did. And she's like, I'm on my way. Thank God. Callie, stop. Be nice. Be nice. There's nothing there. Look, it's a bracelet. Okay? She ended up driving me to the hospital, and I told her like, we can stay in town, like it's not a big, that hurts. So I was like, we can stay in town, like I don't want to make you drive an hour, like it's not a big deal. She's like, no, like if your water really did break, I would want you to be at the hospital you want to deliver at. So she was really great and she drove me an hour. I wasn't having contractions, nothing was getting stronger, which made me feel like I really wasn't in labor, but again, I still had this watery, liquidy discharge. So what's leaking from me, I'm not quite sure. So I got to the hospital and they told me to go right to the ER section. It was really quiet that day, thank God. So they got me right in, they got all my information, and the hospital's connected to my OBGYN, so they had all my files on hand. That was really, really easy. So an intern, I think, took me up, and I just assumed that you were gonna go to triage because every YouTube video I've ever watched, you know, you get checked into triage, they see if you're really in labor, and then you get admitted to the hospital. Well, I didn't know that at this hospital, you just get admitted. So I literally just didn't even go to triage, skipped over that completely, and got admitted into labor and delivery into a room. And of course, the dude drops me off and he's like, congrats, and I'm like, I didn't even say thank you because I really didn't even think I was in true labor, nor did I know what was even going on. I'm leaking this stuff, but I don't know what's happening. So I don't know if I'm really having a baby. Anyway, I got to have a nice tour of the hospital, which I didn't get to see yet. I went into the room, I changed, and then I was laying in this bed and I was kind of freaking out because you see the little incubator thing over there for the baby, and it's a true labor and delivery room. So it was kind of a wake-up call, like, hey, you know, this is what's gonna happen to you. At this point, I still haven't heard from Mike. I'm in the room. They put the little finger thing on me, they're taking all my vitals, all of that, they're tracking me. The nurse is like, okay, we'll come in soon, and then a doctor will come in after me, we're gonna try to figure out what's going on. Then eventually we got in contact with Mike, and of course he like was freaking out, like what is going on, which I'm like, I don't know. And then he's like, do you want me to come? I'm like, I guess so. But I also feel like I need things because I don't have anything. I had my diaper backpack, that's it. He's like, okay, what do you need? And I don't even know what I need. So he ended up not even coming because I told him like, hey, I think you should wait there. If I am in true labor, I'll tell you to come. But for now, I'm still getting tested. I'm still waiting on tests. I don't want to make you drive an hour to come here to then be like discharged from the hospital. The nurse comes in and she checks me. Let me tell you that I have not been checked for dilation at all because prior to that I was 32-week appointment, so I didn't need to get checked yet. You know, just stick a whole fist up there. Then they're doing the clamp thing they do for a pap smear. The first one didn't fit, the second one finally did fit, so like it really freaking hurt, and I'm like clenching the sidebars of the hospital bed, like trying to breathe because it really freaking hurt, and I was not expecting to do that today. That hurt. They checked for all these different things, they did all these different tests, they sent stuff off to the lab, and it was just a lot of sitting around and waiting. And she's like, well, like you're not dilated, but you are open. And then she's like, I do see that you're leaking something, but I don't know what it is. I'm like, I don't either. But apparently it's not amniotic fluid, so I'm not in labor. My water has not broke, but what am I leaking? I'm not quite sure. So then I had to wait for the doctor to come around and do the actual test to like talk to me and everything. And she ended up sticking her fist in me again, and she ended up doing the pap smear thing again. It wasn't a pap smear, but she ended up having like a swab like around me for a minute, inside me for a minute. She like tested that and sent that to the lab, and then she also did the other test. I don't know the name of it right now, you guys know it, where they stick the thing up your butt. You know, I got tested for that because if I was in true labor, you want to make sure you're not testing positive for that or negative, I don't know which it is, where your baby will be affected. So I was good there, got that out of the way. That one didn't hurt that much, but I still didn't know what I was leaking. The doctor didn't know what I was leaking. She ended up coming to the conclusion that it was probably just extra discharge, and it was just super watery and there was just extra of it. And I was open and I did test positive for something. I can't remember the name. Let me see if I can look it up. So I tested positive for fetal fibronectin test, which means that you are more at risk for preterm labor within the next 7 days of taking that test, but there's many reasons why there could be a false positive for that, like if you've had sex recently or within the last 2 days, or like all these different things. So I did test positive for that. Obviously that doesn't help them in any sense of the word, because if it was negative, that would mean I'm definitely not in labor, but it tested positive. So she was kind of like, that doesn't really help us. But I have surpassed the 7-day mark and I'm still not in labor, knock on wood. So, knock on wood. I don't know what's gonna happen with that. It might have been a false positive. Either way, I just have a feeling I'm gonna go into labor a little bit early. Try not to, but also in a sense trying to, so that Mike gets more time with her, but I'm not gonna like force it in any way because I want it to be natural. I ended up leaving the hospital. We got there at like 9:30. We ended up leaving at like 4. So we were there all day. And I don't know if there's a certain time I should have been in the room, like all of that, but I know the doctor got called in for an emergency C-section, all these different things. But it ended up that I was not in labor and I was okay, but it was really traumatizing for me because if you guys know me at all or have been watching our videos, my worst fear is hospitals. I hate hospitals. So anxious, just not my thing. All right, so I guess my battery died, I'm not quite sure. But either way, I'm gonna end this video because I've been ranting for a long time. It was just really nerve-wracking for me because I didn't know what was going on and it was just really scary. But moral of the story is we lived. And now I'm going to show you guys my bump shot, excuse me, and then call it a day. Okay, here's with the shirt. This is a loose shirt, by the way, guys. I got this from, holy crap. Why? Ready? This is with the shirt on. This is from Pink Plush Maternity. So side, I did get that line, and side. Thanks for watching. Bye.